Good morning, Cumberland County. We will now commence the March 13th, 2025 Salary Board and Board of Commissioners meetings.
Mine will not.
Oh.
Turn your volume down. Turn your volume on.
I don't want to do that. Got it. I was freaked out a bit, sorry.
Desiree, are we okay?
We okay now?
Okay,
Sorry.
do we need to start over? We're okay, Shane? Okay, thank you. All right, so we will begin with the salary board meeting, and if we could please have a call to order. Or I'm sorry, a roll call.
Commissioner Niederer.
Commissioner Niederer, for the record, Commissioner Niederer is on an airplane right now and is of course unable to Zoom in or phone into this meeting, so.
Commissioner Fashi.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger. Controller Whitcomb.
Here.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move forward with the business. We have the approval of the minutes of February 27th, 2025. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And thank you, Stacey Snyder, for the reminder on public comment. Do we have anyone online for public comments?
Not at this
Do
time.
we have anyone on the phone that may want
I don't see anyone.
public comment? Anyone in the room who would like to give public comment? Okay, all right. So we will then move to the approval of the salary board actions. Do we have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve all the salary board actions.
I will say.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Do we have any other business to come before the salary board this morning? Hearing none and seeing none, we need a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We are finished. Thank you so much, Mr. Whitcomb. All right, we'll move into our Board of Commissioners meeting and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice. All right, so we are calling to order the Board of Commissioners meeting, and could we please start with a roll call vote?
Commissioner Niederer.
I will again advise that Commissioner Niederer is on an airplane right now and is unable to zoom in or call it.
Commissioner Fashi.
I'm here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Okay, do we have any public comment on non-agenda items? Anyone in the room for public comment? No one online?
No one online.
No one on the phone?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna move into, woohoo, the best part. We have an employee recognition for Adam Green of IMTO for 20 years of service. And Adam, come on up. Come on up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I want to tell you what a pleasure it is working with you. And I have seen you in some situations that have demanded finesse and professionalism and expertise, and you always deliver, always, always. Mark, do you have anything to?
Yeah, I mean, our intern program had started way back 20 plus years ago. Adam started as an intern with the county and has, moved his way all the way up the chain. He's now a senior manager in our office. He handles critical systems, so things you don't always see behind the scenes. He's managing staff to handle our telephone system, our video conferencing system, which we're using today, our email system, our website, and obviously he's also very integral in the elections process. So we couldn't do it without him. We appreciate his 20 years of service, and I want to thank you for your efforts.
So we'll get some photos, and I think I see your family is here. Come on up. Hey, and thanks for sharing your dad with us, because we need him. You good?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
You wanna, okay. Think
We
we're
okay?
gonna do it. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, everyone look here. I'm gonna take several. Okay, and then can I get one also with or what other, I guess, do you want without the family as well? Do you want one just?
You want just.
That's fine. Family?
Yeah, no,
Sure, we can do
yeah.
that.
That's fine.
Yeah, we'll do
There you
that, too, yeah. Okay. And then we'll
That was
do. Yeah, we'll do just the original. Yeah. Alright. Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Systems wrong.
Yes, I got it.
It's the reason when you're the best part of the meeting, so it's all good.
And just like that, the room has almost emptied out. That takes us to the consent agenda portion of the agenda, which is a list of routine items. They do not appear to be controversial in nature, do not seem to require any additional discussion. If discussion is required on any of the particular items, now would be the time to make that request.
Okay, I would ask that item 6, approval of personnel transactions, be broken out and separate.
Okay. Hearing no other requests, commissioners, I would request approval of the consent agenda, which is agenda items number 5 and number 7 through 9.
Okay, looking for a motion?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second, moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Okay, so commissioners, that takes us then to agenda item 6, which is approval of personnel transactions, and I would ask for action on that item.
So I will move to approve the personnel transactions.
I will second for all items except position CY 2075.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you, commissioners. That takes us then to the regular agenda, which is a list of non-routine items, and they will be discussed and maybe acted upon individually. And we'll start with agenda item 10, which is discussion and approval of the 2025 annual plan and the 5-year plan for the Cumberland County Housing Authority. And we have Becky Shaw.
Morning, commissioners. Each year HUD requires the Housing Authority to create an annual plan and every 5 years, a 5-year plan. So this year, the Housing Authority has created the annual plan and the 5-year plan for this year. And part of that plan requires local official certification that the PHA plan is consistent with the local consolidated plan. And the county's consolidated plan does identify affordable housing as a priority need, and the availability of housing choice vouchers throughout the county and public housing located within the borough meets this need by providing working families, seniors, and those with disabilities to live in decent, safe, and sanitary housing that is affordable to their families' budgets. So the Housing Authority is asking for approval of this certification of consistency. Thank you.
Any questions for Becky?
Don't have any questions. We're looking for a motion, please.
I'll move for approval.
I will second, moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thanks, Becky. And it's so nice to see you in person.
It is good to see you too.
For those of you that don't know, Becky and I email each other a lot back and forth, but we don't always get to see each other in person.
And you're super helpful.
Okay, so that takes us then to it. Thank you. And that takes us then to agenda item number 11, which is discussion and approval for facilities to receive a donation of furniture from Prelude Services in an amount not to exceed $14,400. We have Brent Durham to discuss.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm asking your permission to accept a donation from Prelude Services in Mechanicsburg. This is a donation of 18 cubicle workstations with a value that I'm estimating at $14,400. These stations are all steel brand. They're 8x6 units. They can be custom sized to fit our needs. We have several projects coming up, and we have a need for cubicles in just about all of these projects. So I foresee these being put into service within the next year. So the timing is pretty opportune.
Any questions for Brent?
I don't have any questions. I just know that Commissioner Nieder was really a proponent of going out and looking for furniture in this way. So I know she would say, thank you, Brent. Thank you for your diligence in getting this done. So we are looking for a motion, please.
I'll move for approval.
I will second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes us to the contract portion of the agenda. I'm going to turn the agenda over now to Angela Smizer to cover the contracts. Thank you, Stacy. Good morning, everybody. Taking us on to agenda item 12, I'll call on Melissa Calvinelli to discuss a contract for court administration.
Good morning, commissioners. We are requesting requesting approval of a contract with Propio for language interpretation services. I'm going to just add, there is an amount on here, but this is not in addition to any current budget that we have. This is just an additional resource for us to use in conjunction with our other language contracts. I would note that this service is approved by the state for language services, which is required for our access, and their charges are actually lower per minute than the vendor we are currently using. I'm not going to guarantee any kind of reduction because the language service requirements keep going up, but this is actually a lesser per minute cost than the vendor we've been using currently. And they offer additional resources like video interpretation and some in-person interpretation.
Good. That's good.
Any questions for Melissa?
I do not have any, and looking for a motion.
I'll move for approval.
I will second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to agenda item 13, and I'm calling Jamie Ryber to discuss the contracts for children and youth. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. I have two contracts today. The first one is for, excuse me, Children's Home of York Incorporated. It is an addendum to their current existing contract we have with them. They provide foster care services, and we are just adding an additional level of care. It's enhanced specialized foster care at $180.30 a day. The second one is for Pieces to Fit. This is a new residential provider that we are contracting with. They are based out of Philadelphia, and we actually have a child that is slated to go there already. So we want to get this contract in place. They are $553.80 a day, and they are comparable to our other residential type facilities and are fully approved by the state also.
Any questions for Jamie?
I don't have any. I'm looking for a motion.
I'll move for approval.
I will second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you. Great, that takes us to agenda item 14, and I will call on Adrienne Bond to discuss a grant for the District Attorney's Office Victim Services.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning. This is the Raza Bojo grant for 25-26. It would have started January 1st of 2025 this year for the amount of $191,563. And this is the approval for the approval.
Any questions for Adrienne?
Don't have any. We're looking for a motion.
I'll move for approval.
I will second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Adrienne.
Thank you. All right, moving on to agenda item 15, I will call on Ryan Simon to discuss the contract addendum for drug and alcohol. Good morning.
Good morning. This year, we have a prevention plan that is due to the state. We have to do that every couple of years. And with recent staffing changes, Brenda wanted someone who has experience doing these. And Dee had worked for our agency several years ago. So Brenda just wanted to bring her back to help out with that.
Any questions for Ryan?
I do not have any. Looking for a motion.
I'll move for approval.
I will second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. Great, moving on to agenda item 16, I will call on Justin Smith to discuss a contract addendum for GIS. Good
Good
morning.
morning, Commissioners. I'd like to introduce Mike Mulford, our GIS developer. He's going to be giving you contract details.
It's nice to finally meet you guys. This is our annual maintenance renewal contract with Esri. They are the industry standard in GIS software. This contract includes software and add-ons for GIS, planning, tax administration, public safety, and vector control. This is basically the same contract we've had with Esri for the past 20 years. It includes software that is the most up-to-date possible for all departments previously mentioned. Total cost of this contract is $37,513. with the cost of last year's maintenance being $30,818. This represents an approximately 8% increase and is consistent with previous years. And each department still pays for their own software, with the exception of GIS assuming costs for property assessment due to the restructuring last year.
Any questions for Mike?
Don't have any. We're looking for a motion.
I'll move for approval.
I will second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that takes us to agenda item 17, and I will call on Andrew Benner to discuss a contract addendum. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just presenting, it's an addendum to our Nice Truth Solutions contract. I don't believe it's a significant increase. I think it's about $20 per polygraph, and this is for polygraph evaluations when ordered by the court for youth that we're supervising.
Any questions for Andrew?
I do not have any. Looking for a motion.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
All right, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Andy.
Thank you.
Great, that takes us to agenda item 18, and I will call on Mark Evans to discuss the contracts for MHIDD. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everybody. We have 4 contract amendments today. The first is for early intervention speech therapy services, increase of $4,000, $4,481 for Barbara Weaver. We also have on the intellectual and developmental disability side, Heather Teska Stower, an amendment for an increase of $4,000. She provides psychological evaluations for eligibility. Riverside Associates, an increase of $6,000. This is also for psychological evaluations. And lastly, for mental health, an amendment for NHS Stevens Center, an increase of $75,215. And this is an increase that is specific to assertive community treatment teams. This will allow them to serve some additional folks for the rest of this fiscal year.
Any questions for Mark?
Don't have any. We are looking for a motion.
I'll move for approval. State.
I'll second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, and our last contract item is for public safety, and I will call on Bob Shackley to discuss. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Commissioners. Requesting your approval of a Center for Living Forward LLC contract to provide mental health wellness visits for each of the public safety staff. It'll be 2 times a year, as well as 2 2-hour mental health group training sessions. That's designed specifically to meet the needs of the trends discovered during the individual sessions. This is a follow-up to our pilot program from this past fall. We received a lot of positive comments from those sessions, and it is part of our overall staff retention and wellness efforts. The total cost of the contract is a not to exceed $15,000, but will be billed monthly based on actual use of session hours and training. Performance period is from March 1st of 2025 through February 28th of 2026. Our second contract is requesting approval of a contract with MCM Consulting Group. It's $15,560. That is for the completion of the commodity flow study, which provides a review of the data of types, volumes, and transportation routes of hazardous materials through the county. This is the contract to do the work from the previously approved capital project. $8,000 of that comes from the Hazardous Materials Emergency Preparedness Grant, and the remaining $7,560 is a general fund expense. And our third one is a request authorization to submit the state fiscal year 2025-26 Hazardous Materials Response Fund grant. The amount is to be determined based on the submission of our annual hazmat report. And then PEMA runs that through a distribution formula based on the available funds. So once they have all the applications, then based on the total funding, they'll divvy that out based on the applications.
I do not have any. Looking for a motion.
Was
I'll second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
And with that, I will hand the meeting back over to Stacy Snyder. Thanks, Angela. So that takes us to agenda item 20, which is discussion and possible motion to select a communications firm with respect to county facilities, siting and development. We've got Samantha Krebs and as backup, Kirk Center available. Hi, Samantha. I think are you muted? Are you muted?
No, I'm not muted.
Oh, there you go. Now we hear you. Now we hear you.
I'll have to get IT on this. Pursuant to the board's request for a selection of a PR communications firm to assist with the county's facility siting and development, we are recommending PR Works. Based on our review of the company's qualification, this firm is well suited to assist in this project.
Any questions for Samantha?
I do not have any. I read the materials and that you sent, and I appreciate all of the diligent work that went into vetting the RFP and the candidates. Thank you.
Sam, I do have one question. If it was in there, I missed it, but at the beginning of the process, I had mentioned that the APR designation would be looked at highly favorably in my case. So, and you had mentioned, I think at the time, that one of the applicants had that accreditation. Is PR Works the firm that has that?
Absolutely, Commissioner. Jason Kirch, who is the sole owner of PR Works, he took over in 2022, is APR accredited, which is a very high level accreditation for public relations and communications. And he also teaches the class to get the accreditation for APR.
That helps. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I don't have any, and we're looking for a motion.
I'll move for approval of the recommendation. PR Works.
Okay, I will second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. Thanks, Samantha. That takes us then to agenda item 21, which is commissioners' liaison reports. And with Commissioner Nieder flying on a jet plane, I'll move to you, Commissioner Bocci.
Well, thanks. Hey, I would remind everyone to use the Cumberland County Library system. I know that they are already starting their summer programming, so keep an eye on that. Before we know it, those kids will be out of school and will need to be reading books and having fun at the library. So the Board of Commissioners, we all attended the Keeping Our Republic event at Dickinson College, and Governor Tom Corbett was there, Secretary of State Al Schmidt. This was a conversation about elections and election integrity and making sure that the public understands that elections are safe, accurate, and reliable in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, as well as across the United States. So that was an excellent event. There were election directors from across Pennsylvania there, including our own Bethany Salzarullo. They're a very impressive group. The board also attended the Carlisle Chamber State of the County event. That was last Friday morning. It was a breakfast where we all got to talk about the state of the county and what is going on. We fielded some questions. That was another great event by the Carlisle Chamber. And the HATS Coordinating Committee met. There's a lot going on at HATS, but one of the things that was mentioned at that particular meeting by PennDOT District 8 is that the money that was granted to us by the Biden administration to the region for the purpose of a new I-83 bridge is frozen. Those dollars are frozen. So they're not here yet. We're waiting on them. And there was some conversation in that meeting about how this will be very tough now to finish this project, to complete this new bridge without tolling. If you remember correctly, we sued as well as with several municipalities to stop the tolling of the 83 bridge. Something to keep an eye on. I'm not sure where it's going. Hopefully those funds are just unfrozen and delivered to PennDOT, and we can move on and move forward without any further kerfuffle. The Western Council of Governments met on Monday, and lots of things going on there too. But one of the things that they talked about is PEMA's floodplain requirements. So PEMA has some floodplain requirements. The county hosted a meeting with 2 PEMA representatives. And a lot of things happened in that meeting, and municipalities are being encouraged to make weekly floodplain property assessments. And so the COG, you know, we're looking at this as an unfunded mandate. How are we going to do that? What are the repercussions of not doing it? So that's something that I'm looking into, just figure out exactly what's going on there. So, and Stacey, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Eichelberger.
Yeah, okay, just a handful of items. On recycling and waste authority. One, I just noticed that the meeting, the solid waste authority meeting on my calendar, it looks like it's scheduled for next Wednesday. Those meetings are held Monday, and Judd's email reminder to the board does say Monday. So if we could look at that and make sure that that one and future ones are that would be helpful. Thanks. Okay, that meeting, of course, is out at Allen Road, the authority meeting. There, as I reported before, they've received now proposals for the electronics waste recycling services that are so much. We run our recycling center for. The previous vendor has opted not to be part of that. So we went out to market, and 6 proposals is good. We will have a mix probably of the manufactured sponsored providers and the non-manufactured providers, which creates an issue for us in terms of what we can charge the public. So we're waiting to see how that all washes out, and that will all be discussed at the board meeting on Monday. Justin said he's putting together a consolidated review for the board. So he also mentioned, and I think I referenced it last time, is the yard waste program. There have been a series of meetings. The municipalities that were working with Hampton had asked for more time. Right now, the projection is that they should have this determined by March 31st, the end of this month. So we're hoping that holds. Obviously, the commissioners have an interest in the outcome of that because of the equipment that we're holding and its depreciation, essentially, it's degradation. So we want to move that out. While it's still useful to others, hopefully they come to an agreement, but we are at their mercy in terms of what that's going to be. So that's all for recycling. Blighted Property Board meets later today. I will be there. CapCog is next week. And Office of Aging just sent a reminder about the couple of things that I think are already on our radar. The home modification programs ending March 21st with the retirement of the staff that previously handled that. And Annie reminds us there are other available programs that is essentially a duplication. I'm going to ask her to provide some specifics on that as well, so we all have that at our fingertips in case it's asked. They're also no longer helping with rent property tax rebate applications. Again, of course, that's a duplication of services. They obviously are trying to add focus to the things that they do, get the greatest for the buck, as it were. And of course, on March 23rd, the area agencies on aging across the state are doing an advocacy day at the Capitol to advocate for the AAAs. I would say includes a full day of scheduled meetings with legislators. So commissioners obviously very welcome to attend that and lend their voice. The only other thing, of course, I mentioned before, they're still waiting on the federal government for a number of determinations, the final federal rule update. That is holding up some other housekeeping items as well, such as the appointment of the board, advisory council members that will be appointed or reappointed. So still looking at what the federal impacts are going to be. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing that a lot over the next few months. Everybody's in wait and see mode. We are at the mercy of higher powers, I guess. So I think that's everything I have. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner. And I would just point out that I did meet with Annie Hupp yesterday in an operations meeting, and we discussed, she's going to be sending an invite with all of the particulars about advocacy data, all three of the commissioners. So just wanted to share that. Okay, so that takes us then to agenda item 22, which is report of executive sessions. I would like to report that on March 6, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. there was an executive session regarding personnel. And now I will ask if there's any other business to come to before the board today. Hearing none, seeing